Hello there, internet YouTubers. Shaman Hawk here with another project. So I'm getting ready to sew up one of these sea bags again, and I do this gluing process I showed in other videos. But while I'm doing this, I want to talk about an interesting phenomenon that's been coming up. So I keep telling my apprentices, always pay attention to the details. It's those little details that'll tell you so much about what's going on in a person. And when you watch or you get the same things that come up with a group of people you're working with, you can just about bet that's a good sign what's going through the masses. And all that being said, I had two of the white sea bags that they're the natural colored ones, ready to be shipped out. And I had told the woman that it was going to, I'm like, okay, it's ready, give me your address. I'm gonna wash it one time and I'll send it to you. And I immediately got a response back, no, don't wash it, it's fine. I'm like, well, you know, it's put together on the barn floor and it get a little dusty. You know, I have to sweep this floor a couple times a day, especially when it's windy. We haven't had any real rain in like months. So everything's brown, crunchy, and dusty. And they're like, oh, that's okay. I'm like, all right, that's what you want, you know. I'm like, if you do wash it, you just put it in cold water and hang it out to dry. You know, wash it. Because the wax thread will come, the wax will come off in hot water and a dryer. You know, and so the next woman, I told her the same thing. You know, hey, it's ready, give me your address, I'll send it to you, I'm gonna wash it one time. No, don't wash it. I'm like, I was curious, and I asked the second one, like, if you went to a store and you bought something that wasn't as expensive as this, the white ones go for $320 shipped, the blue ones are $450 shipped, because they last a long time. And I said, well, if you went to the store and it was new, and you didn't pay as much, and it was dusty like that, would you accept it? You know, absolutely not. Can I ask why? You know, because it's just not the same thing. It's not the same experience. This is real. This is you. I feel you. Wow. Okay. That was deep. And I really appreciate it when people will take that much time, energy, and thought into anything. Okay. And so I just thought it was just such an interesting phenomenon. And to me, you know, the question that I pose to students is like, what are these people not saying when they do something like this, or they say something like this, or they go through a process like this? And you have to really look at that. And I have lots and lots of theories on that. You know, I mean, I could say they need something real in their life. You know, they like what I do, and they want to be part of that in any way possible. You know, their world is sterile, and they want some of everyday life in it. They want maybe the farm energy, the barn energy, the whatever. And I don't look at it in any type of ridicule or anything like that, but it just tells me that there is that element that's missing out of people, you know, that reality, that, what's the word? They're living that journey vicariously through me. You know, there's something that I'm giving them. You know, and I look at it like I'm in a dusty barn making things on the floor, you know, but they see the effort that I'm putting into it. And some of the compliments I get back from people, even if they say they can't buy one right now, they just really appreciate every stitch. When I do a video of me sewing, or, you know, a process like this to make it just stronger, you know. Yeah, I've had people say, man, you could take a lot of steps out of this and make a lot of money by volume. There's companies that'll help you design these things and manufacture them for you. And hey, you know, somebody in another country can sew that up with their little fingers a lot faster than you. You know, all kinds of stuff. But I look at it like, well, then it's not me making it. You know, and I'm not part of that experience. Maybe that person in that poor country is grateful to have a job to sew these up, but what other stress are they enduring when they're putting that? And people pick this stuff up. People, you'd be surprised when I tell others, my apprentices, like, wow, people really do understand a lot of this stuff subconsciously. Yeah, we haven't been really that civilized and that industrialized that long compared to like the history of humanity. So they still appreciate, they still feel these things. They're just not feeling it in their life. And so when they get an opportunity to feel it outside of their life, they take that opportunity to do so. And it was just such a nice, almost a hopeful kind of a thing I felt when these people are telling me not to wash the bag. I mean, here, this one's laying on here. You might be able to see a little dust and whatever on it, but they're okay with that. I mean, I could just rinse it in a bucket and let it sit up all day and it's gone, but no, they want that. They want the imperfections. They want, the reality of what comes through natural process of one person into their art, into their trade. And it's nice. When I wrote a book a while back, I bound the book myself. I put it all together, cut the pages, all that, and sold it cheap, everything in Texas bites. And they would just run their fingers up and down the back of the book. And went, you made all this? Like, yeah. Or when I do my woodwork, I'll take it down to like 300 grit sandpaper, and they're just always rubbing it. How'd you get it so smooth? Because there's that part where it goes from sanding the wood to caressing it into that feeling that they're enjoying when they touch. But it tells me that so many people's lives are missing the authenticity of artistry, of craftsmanship, and so on. So think about that. I'd love to hear comments about, what your philosophy or your ideas on why people would be so into me not washing it, and compared to somebody that would not want any dust on their fabric when they go buy something from the store. I mean, I just think it's an interesting thing. I think it's a very personal thing, and I really appreciate that part of it. Anyways, short video. I'll catch you guys later. Oh man, maybe I should get something, knee pads or something, right? Whoa. Okay. Catch y'all later.